Right. My plan for today is the following. And we're going to start Unit 9B, and Unit 9B has to do with fears and phobias. Okay, that is the topic of conversation. And if you look at the book, that is page 70 and page 71. Okay, what are the objectives of this unit? By the end of the unit, we should be able to talk about your and mine and our fears and phobias, and why these situations make us feel scared. We should also be able to express ideas that started at an indefinite past and have a relevance in our present. Yeah. Why do I say this? Because we're going to look at a structure that is called the present perfect simple. And we should be able to use the present perfect simple tense with the prepositions for and since in written and spoken contexts. Okay, so those are the objectives. Okay, so Enzo, look at the picture on the screen. Okay, we have a man running away from a big shadow, which looks like him. It's like his shadow. You see. So the main question is, what are you afraid or frightened of? Question goes to you is, what are you afraid of?
Maybe I'm afraid of things that are not real or material, like feeling that person has to me.
Feelings?
Maybe,
really?
yes.
But feelings
Maybe,
like bad feelings or good feelings?
No, bad feelings.
For example, envy is not a feeling, yeah, or an emotion.
No, yes, something like that, but not envy. I think I don't know if the word works in English, but like feeling uncomfortable when a person.
When a person feels uncomfortable with you or uncomfortable with life?
Yes, no, with my presence. Maybe if that person didn't like me, and that shows off.
So the feeling of rejection, it could be.
Yes, something like that.
Interesting.
Exactly.
I think that is, I mean, people do not normally say it, but I think that many people, yeah, feel this fear of rejection. That's a very good one. Yeah, people feel in general. People fear being rejected. Yeah, being rejected. That's true.
Things like, I don't know, the darkness or
you don't really mind.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, I used to be afraid of the dark, I have to say. Well, when I was little, I don't know, 3, 4 years old. Yeah, not anymore. In fact, I like darkness now. But yeah, it's interesting what you're saying. Is yeah, I was just thinking, like, what am I afraid of? I think that in a way, yeah, I'm also scared or frightened of rejection. I think that it's not really nice to say, but it's true. Yeah, at some point, perhaps when I was a student, I don't know, if I wasn't like the best, I had a fear of not being the best, which is stupid because evaluations or marks are not you. You say you are not your, I don't know, your successes, or you are not your program of studies. You are you are a person, you see.
Or maybe a feeling that you don't fix with people or
you don't
with
fit.
A group of people.
You don't fit with people. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yes. I mean, nowadays it's something that everybody talks about, right? And not only in terms of political viewpoints, but also in terms of gender, in terms of tendencies. Yeah, for example, in what is considered to be, I don't know, how do people love? I mean, do you love, what do you love? You love the person, you love the body, you love the gender, you love, what do you love? You see? So it's I mean, it's really interesting, a very deep conversation. But unfortunately, I think that the unit is a little bit more shallow, not so deep. Yeah, but it's a very interesting conversation. Thank you very much, Hans. Now, in general terms, what are the most common things or situations you think make people scared? Yeah, I will start. I think that uncertainty. I think that uncertainty makes people scared. Oh, makes me scared. In general, and a typical one, I would say mice. People are usually afraid of mice.
Is this a question?
Yeah, it's a question.
Dogs.
Really? Dogs? Oh my God.
Yeah,
Why?
I know a lot of people that are afraid of dogs.
Really? I haven't, I mean, perhaps a couple, but in my life, and I'm very old. So like people, yeah, really? Cats?
Maybe I think it's common because my little brother is afraid of dogs.
Okay, right.
I'm a neighbor.
A neighbor as well is also afraid of dogs.
Yes.
Okay, right. So dogs, mice, what else? Well, if you live, for example, depending on the country, yeah, but if you live in countries that are victims of terrorism is another thing that people are afraid of, you see. Discrimination, terrorism, what else? Economical instability, you see. Yeah, so many things. It's true. So the next question, you don't need to answer, says, what makes us scared? Okay, so the first question is, what is the difference between a fear and a phobia? What phobias do you know? And then we're going to watch a video. So in your opinion,
yes.
What is the difference between a fear and a phobia?
I think both are similar, but phobia is a fear more irrational and with like depends on the person and the life or what they life with that fear. Yeah. I don't know, spiders.
Yeah, I think that the key word that you mentioned is irrational. Yeah, I think that phobias are irrational and people do not usually control them. Because if you suffer from a phobia, you are unable to control your emotion and you lose control of what you do and how you feel. Yeah, very good. Yeah, and what phobias do you know?
My mom has phobia to spiders.
Really? She's afraid of spiders? Yes. Oh, okay. So she has a phobia of spiders. Do you know the name? Like the technical
Spanish
name?
is arachnophobia.
The same in English is arachnophobia. Yeah. Arachnophobia. Any other phobia that you know, Enzo?
To open spaces.
Very good. And that is called?
Agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia. Very good. And the opposite, when you are scared of being in a closed space, such as a lift?
That is claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia. Very good. It's easy because these words come from the Greek. So Greek language, and we borrow both in English and in Spanish. So claustrophobia, agoraphobia, arachnophobia. What else? And when people are afraid of high places, when people are afraid of heights.
I don't remember.
Don't remember? That is acro. Acrophobia. Well, there are so many phobias in general. There are, for example, people who are afraid of patterns. I think that is called trypophobia.
Yes. But like patterns with circle
or nets, for example. Yeah, like beehives. Yeah, beehives.
Yeah,
and that there is another one, nomophobia.
To short people?
No, afraid of dwarfs. No, nomophobia is no, it's GN. No, it's no GN. It's N. It's when people can't live without the cell phones. Like that, if you leave your cell phone at home, you go crazy. You can't survive without your, it's nomophobia. It's a new phobia since, well, that appeared when cell phones and devices appeared. Yeah, okay, so we're going to watch this video also that answers the question, what makes us scared? And we're going to see this guy called Jimmy Tam explaining why we feel fear and when a fear becomes a phobia. So what happens when a fear that we can't control, for example, I'm afraid of, I don't know, what did I say before? I'm afraid of, I don't know, disorders. I'm afraid of disorders. I'm afraid of people destroying things. I'm afraid of violence, okay? So I can control that because I think, okay, is there anything happening now? No, okay, so I shouldn't be afraid, yeah? But what is the stage, or what happens when a phobia, when a fear becomes a phobia? So what is the difference? And I think that you already mentioned the answer. And we're going to watch the video and pay attention to vocabulary. Yeah, he speaks very clearly anyway, but his accent is a little bit funny. Well, not funny, haha, but funny, different. Okay. Can you see the Google Chrome page or not? No.
No.
What about now?
Now, yes. Now, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Enjoy the video. I really like this video. Internet, please. My internet connection today.
Fear is an emotion that's usually triggered by a threat of some sort, whether that's real or imagined. Your body can react by speeding up your heart rate and your breathing and making your muscles tense up. Or it can just leave you very, very afraid, like many visitors here at the London Dungeon. It's called a fight or flight response, and it's something that's evolved in us over time to help us protect ourselves from predators and threats. A phobia is a type of anxiety disorder. It comes from the Greek word phobos, which means flight or terror. It's an extreme and irrational fear of something that most other people usually don't find scary. Spiders, rats, those are some very common phobias, whereas some lesser known ones include clowns or dolls. There are different levels of phobias, from mild to severe. A fear becomes a phobia when it gets to the point that you avoid the thing you're scared of so much that it stops you from leading a normal life. Right, I think it's time to get out of it. There's not one single cause for phobias. Sometimes it can be down to a traumatic event that's happened in your lifetime. Sometimes phobias can be shared within families because adults and children can pick up on each other's behaviors. But more often than not, people don't remember what triggered their phobia. Now, if you think you might have a phobia, then don't worry. There is help available, such as CBT, that's cognitive behavioral therapy. But the first thing to do, if you are worried, is to go see your doctor. But maybe not this one, he says.
Okay, was it easy to understand, Enzo? Or so?
Yes, at the start, the volume was too
It was
low.
too high. Too
No,
low?
for me, yes, for me it was too low.
For me it was too high, and I did like, oh my God. Yeah, we're going to watch it again. Yeah, and I'm going to stop. No, because I need to analyze some things. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to play it with auto-generated closed captions. Yeah. So let's watch it again. I stop, I explain.
Fear is an emotion that's usually triggered by a threat of some sort, whether that's real or imagined. Your body can react by speeding up your heart rate and your breathing and making your muscles tense up. Or it can just leave you very, very afraid, like many visitors here at the London Dungeon.
Interesting, yeah, to see that as human beings, anything that happens in our minds, because sometimes it only happens here, nothing is actually happening in the exterior. In the exterior, we react. Our body functions react automatically. So when we are afraid of something, or when we are frightened or scared of something, usually this happens. You see, we have a change in the breathing patterns. We start breathing more quickly. So we oxygenate more than we should. That is why people sometimes get dizzy. And our heartbeat is faster, you see? So your heart goes like, tutun, 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 you see? Terrible. Details in terms of use of language. We have adjectives, you see, that describe these emotions. We have to be afraid, to be frightened, and to be scared. Yeah. So when you use these adjectives, we use them with verb to be. I am, I was, I might be, I would be, I will be, scared, frightened, afraid, and then we use preposition of. For example, I am afraid of cats. I am not afraid of cats. I am not frightened of cats. So that is important because typical mistakes that Spanish speakers make is to say, for example, with or for, yeah, afraid for, afraid at, I don't know, anything, but it's afraid of something, yeah. When you use a situation, yeah, we saw this in Unit 1 or 1C, 7A, I don't remember. You say, for example, I am afraid of cats, or I am afraid of seeing cats, of touching cats, etc. So if you use a verb, be careful to use it with the ing ending. Yeah, that is important.
It's called a fight or flight response, and it's something that's evolved in us over time to help us protect ourselves from predators and threats. A phobia is a type of anxiety disorder. It comes from the Greek word phobos, like terror. It's an extreme and irrational fear of something that most other people usually don't find scary. Spiders, rats, those are some fairly common phobias, whereas some lesser known ones include clowns or dolls. There are different.
You see that these Greek words, the same that we use in Spanish, like pedio, like pediatrics, or pediophobia, that has to do with like children in general, like pediophobia, afraid of dolls, yeah. Musophobia, yeah, I didn't know that one, yeah, afraid of mice, yeah. And coulrophobia, yeah, afraid of clowns. I hate clowns. I don't have a phobia of clowns, but I hate them. Don't like them.
Levels of phobia from mild to severe. A fear becomes a phobia when it gets to the point that you avoid the thing you're scared of so much that it stops you from leading a normal life.
So adding to what you said a couple of minutes ago, Enzo, it's true, like phobias are irrational, but do you remember, when does a fear become a phobia?
When that stopped you from living a normal life.
Exactly. So, for example, your mom was afraid of spiders. Yeah. So, for example, if your mom sees a spider and she can't go into the room because of a spider, that's a phobia, because it's, I mean, really, it's like this size. I mean, it's not going to kill you, you see? So it's irrational. She can't do the things that she normally does. So it's terrible. I think that suffering from phobias is really, really, I don't know, like terrible, because you can't, I mean, you never know when you can see a spider, or if you're afraid. For me, in my opinion, the worst phobia is agoraphobia. Because what do? I mean, you can't stand being in an open space. So you never travel. You don't usually go out. It's terrible.
Yes.
It's terrible. Oh, sorry.
Get out of it.
Horrible clown.
There's not one single cause for phobias. Sometimes it can be down to a traumatic event that's happened in your lifetime. Sometimes phobias can be shared within families because adults and children can pick up on each other's behaviours. But more often than not, people don't remember what triggered their phobia. Now, if you think you might have a phobia, then don't worry. There is help available, such as CBT, that's cognitive behavioural therapy. But the first thing to do, if you are worried, is to go see your doctor. But maybe not this one, he said.
Okay, funny joke, right? Do not say a dead doctor. Okay, very good. Interesting, right? See, I like this video. Okay, so this is the last activity we're going to do. We have 20 minutes to do it, and it's on page 70. Hence, page 70. We're going to go to page 70 and do the reading exercise 1B. We have to do the following. We have to match the phobias with the texts. Okay, so I'm going to show you the book. Give me 1 second. Book. Here it is. Page 70. If you can find it. Here it is, I think. Yeah. Can you see it or not? No.
No.
And what about now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So your work, Enzo, and I will help you, is to match these 5 phobias with the texts. Okay? So start reading. Letter A. Read, and then we decide which type of phobia is describing.
Okay. Says people with this phobia are terrified of spiders. Rupert Grint, the actor who played Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter movies, has this phobia, and so does his character Ron.
Okay, so his character. And so does his character Ron. Very easy.
Arachnophobia?
Very good, arachnophobia. Did you see or have you seen the Harry Potter movies?
Yes.
Yeah, remember that there is a very big spider in one of the movies? So it must have been terrible for him to record that. Okay, so continue. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the spider. It is horrible.
I don't remember.
You don't remember either, right?
This phobia can have a severe effect on sufferers' lives. These people are frightened of being in open and public space like stores and busy streets.
Busy streets.
Busy streets. They often feel panic when they go out and only feel safe at home. That's agoraphobia. Agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia. Agoraphobia. In Greek or in Spanish, las ágoras son estos lugares como abiertos que se supone que donde habla una persona, bueno, in Greece, right? So agora comes from like open space, agoraphobia. Very good. Any question about vocabulary? Anything? Panic, frightened, busy?
No.
No? Okay, good. Continue. Let us see.
People with this phobia are afraid of being in closed spaces, like elevators or
elevators, like elevators.
Yes. Or traveling on the subway. This phobia can make life very difficult for people who live and work in cities.
So it's the opposite of agoraphobia.
This is claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia, very good. So you see, here we have the adjective to be, verb to be afraid of something. So if you have a verb after of, yeah, then the verb takes the ing because we use the gerund after prepositions. Very good, and so continue.
People who suffer from this phobia are scared of heights. And they get heights. And they get very nervous if they have to go up high. For example, on a ski lift, or if they are on a balcony on the 20th floor.
Questions?
No?
I think the pronunciation is a little bit tricky, right? So when you are afraid of being in a high space?
This is agoraphobia.
Acrophobia, very good. So here we have 2 words which are like good to know the difference in pronunciation and the way we use them, which is height. This is height, you see? versus high. Height is a noun. So you say, I am afraid of heights, meaning I am afraid of high places. And high is an adjective. So you cannot say, I am afraid of high. No, of high what? High places, high what, you see? So similar but different. High is an adjective, so it describes things. High, I don't know, expectations, high places, yeah, high building. And height is the noun. So what is your height, for example? As 1 meter 80, for example, 1 meter 70, see, height. So you say, I am afraid of something, I am afraid of heights, yeah? Very good.
Yeah.
And ski lift.
Yes, I don't know what this
Yeah, a
is.
ski lift. I'm going to show you the picture, because a ski lift is a sort of a means of transport that you have in like a ski. I don't know if it's a resort. Wait,
Yeah.
you're going to see the picture and you're going to understand.
Yes.
That is a ski lift.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's a ski because it is related to skiing, the activity, and lift because lifting is doing this. It's like an elevator. It elevates you, it lifts you. Yeah, so back to the presentation. Wait, give me a moment. Where's my the book. Yeah. Okay, continuous.
People with this phobia suffer from a fear of public speaking. They get very nervous if they have to speak in front of other people. For example, at work or in a class or at a conference.
Mm-hmm.
The actor Harrison Ford has been afraid of public speaking all his life. He even gets nervous when a character in a movie he's making has to make a speech.
Okay, so in this case, the person is afraid of speaking, is afraid of like words in a way.
That's funny because he's an actor, and actor has to make a lot of work with his expressivity.
I don't know, it's funny because perhaps he doesn't feel scared when he's in front of a camera, but he feels scared when he's in front of many people, you see? Could be. But when you are filming something, a movie, I don't know, there are many people, the cameraman, the director, the actors, the extras. Funny. Okay, so what is a phobia?
Glossophobia?
Yeah, so glossophobia has to do with words. It's like a glossary. You remember a glossary? So words.
Yes.
Yeah. Funny, very good. All right, back to the presentation now. Presentation, here it is. So, Enzo, before we continue, question, grammar time. What is the noun made from the adjective afraid? Because afraid is an adjective. Afraid describes how you feel. So what is the noun?
Fear? No.
Very good. Yes, fear.
Yeah.
Very good. Fear. So you say, I am afraid of heights, or I have a fear of heights. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Second question. What is one adjective that means very afraid?
Frightened?
But very. Because afraid and frightened are similar, are synonyms, you see. But this is more than afraid, it's more than frightened.
Maybe we read it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. It has, I'm going to give you the noun and you give me the adjective, okay? Yeah, the noun is terror.
Terrified.
Very good, terrified, yeah. Terrified is very afraid or very frightened. So I am terrified of the dark, you see, of, afraid of, a fear of, terrified of. And the last question is, what are two synonyms of afraid? You know this.
Frightened and scared.
Very good. Yeah, frightened and scared. Very good. As in, are you frightened or scared of spiders? Very good. All right. So, We're going to listen, this is the last activity. We're going to listen to 3 people talking about their phobias. This activity also is on the same page, page 70, exercise 2, okay? And we have to answer the following questions. What is the person afraid of? When did the fear or the phobia start? How does the phobia or the fear affect the person's life? These are the 3 questions. We're going to listen to 3 people, so I need you to take notes, yeah, to remember the information. Do you have a pen or something?
No, I'm going to search for.
Okay, I'll wait for you. Don't worry. No worries. Good.
No.
Okay, good. So we're going to listen to 3 people. Take notes. You need to answer these 3 questions. Yeah, pay attention.
Okay.
4.20. 1.
Do you have any phobias?
Yes, I'm terrified of bats.
Really? How long have you had the phobia?
I've had it for about 40 years, since I was 12 years old. At my school, we had a swimming pool, and the changing rooms were in an old building near the pool. On the first day at school, our teacher told us that there were bats in there and that we shouldn't move around too much because they might start flying around and get into our hair. She also said we shouldn't turn the lights on because this would wake up the bats. We had to change as quickly and quietly as possible.
Did a bat ever fly into your hair?
No, nothing ever happened, but I was terrified just at the thought of it.
Does it affect your life at all?
Yes, I often feel very nervous or start to panic if I'm outside when it's beginning to get dark, which is when bats appear. If I'm sitting in my yard in the evening, I always have a tennis racket, so if a bat flies near me, I can protect myself. And I can't watch a TV documentary about bats, or even look at them in photos. 2.
Do you have any phobias?
Yes, I get very bad claustrophobia.
How long have you had the phobia?
It just started one morning about 10 years ago. I was going to work on the train, and it was very crowded. I started thinking that if there were an accident, I'd never get out. I had a panic attack, and I sort of felt my heart beating very quickly. I had to get off the train.
How does your phobia affect your life?
Well, I can't travel on crowded trains. I never ever travel on the subway because my worst nightmare would be if the train stopped in the tunnel. I also try to avoid elevators. What else? Oh, yes. If I'm flying, I have to have an aisle seat. I can't sit by the window.
3.
Do you have any phobias?
Yes, I have a pretty unusual phobia. I'm scared of clowns.
Clowns? Really? How long have you had it?
I've had it for a long time, since I was a child.
How did it start?
Well, I remember I went on a school trip to the circus when I was 6 or 7 years old, and there were clowns. I thought they were sort of stupid, but I wasn't really afraid of them. Then I went to a birthday party and there were clowns, and they were showing us how to paint our faces. And I found I didn't like being near them. At first, I just didn't like them. But over the years, my feelings have changed to fear.
Does your phobia affect your life at all?
Not really, because luckily, I don't see clowns very often.
Okay, and so do you need to listen to it again? One more time?
No, I think I can
You're
answer
fine?
the questions.
Good. So speaker number 1, what is the person afraid of?
He's afraid of bats.
Very good. Bats. B-A-T-S. Yeah, I don't have the results here. Yeah, bats. Bats. Very good. When when did the fear or the phobia start?
The fear started 40 years ago when he was 12.
Okay, good. So it started 40 years ago? When he was 12, when she was 12, I think it's a she, when she was 12. And how does it affect her life?
She says she's afraid of being outside and it get dark.
When it gets dark. When it gets dark.
When it gets dark. To see them in TV or photos.
Very good. And she can't look at pictures of bats. Yeah, both on photos and on TV. Very good. All right. Speaker number 2. What is he afraid of?
To close space. He has claustrophobia.
Okay, yeah, he has or he suffers from claustrophobia. Very good. When did it start?
10 years ago. He was in a train.
I don't think so. I think that he is afraid of being stuck on a train if it stops. I don't think that it started when he was in. I think that it started 10 years ago, but he didn't say why or when. Yeah, I mean not when. He said when. He didn't say what happened. Yeah, what triggered it. And how does it affect his life?
He don't travel in subways or trains.
He doesn't travel. Yeah, he doesn't travel by subway or train. Yeah.
Also,
and he can't go. Yeah, in crowded. Yeah, trains as well. Crowded, like lots of people. And what if he takes a plane?
He says in flight he don't sit in windows.
He doesn't sit in the window or by the window, like inserted
next to the window.
Very good. Yeah, you see that prepositions are important. Yeah, he doesn't sit by the window. So in a way, yeah, he's not in a way. In other words, he sits on an aisle seat. Aisle? Wait. Yeah. Aisle is written A-I-S-L-E. It's pronounced aisle. You don't pronounce the S. And aisle means a space. For example, if I'm sitting at the aisle seat, imagine that this is a plane, okay? So I'm seated here, and here there is another person. And here you have the aisle. So the people walk, you see? You also have aisles in supermarkets. For example, I'm looking for the detergent. Which aisle can I find the detergent? Aisle 7, for example. So aisle 1, aisle 2, aisle 3. See, so that's the meaning. That is why I said I never sit by the window, because I sit on an aisle seat. Yeah, because he can't escape. You see, if he sits on the aisle seat, he can't escape. Very good. And speaker number 3. What is she? Yeah, what is she afraid of?
She's afraid of clowns.
Yeah, and the phobia, remember the phobia? What was the name of it? Coulrophobia? Coulrophobia, something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that it was like coulrophobia. Very weird. Okay, when did it start? Or how old was she when it started?
I think she doesn't say how old was she, but when she was a child in school.
Yeah, I think she was 6 or 7. I think that she said. Yes, she was 6 or 7 years old. Yeah. And how does it affect her life?
She says not really, because she doesn't see many clowns in her life.
Fortunately for her and for me, because I hate clowns. I mean, I don't hate the people who, well, I mean, not the people, but like the character of a clown. I think that I'm traumatized with clowns. Very good. Excellent. So that was the class. You see that today's class was very relaxed. Not relaxed, relaxing. It was very relaxing class, not very difficult. Yeah, the class is not relaxed, I'm relaxed. Any question, Enzo?
Yes, I didn't answer the test.
Don't worry, Enzo. It wasn't obligatory. It wasn't obligatory,
Okay.
so don't worry about that. No.
Yeah, and I didn't know also this week. I
You can speak in
no know
Spanish
how to
if you
say
want.
paro. No
Try.
sé, no sabía que había paro esta semana.
Sí, hay paro. Lo que pasa es
Porque
sí, nos avisaron anoche, a mí me llegó un correo de escuela en realidad, o de facultad, que los alumnos de plan común habían decidido irse a paro por algunos problemas que habían tenido con otros departamentos, y por eso estaban los niños antes. Entonces, me explicaron la situación y que claro, como esta había sido una decisión de plan común, ellos preferían retirarse.
ya.
Lo cual obviamente es respetable. Así que
Sí, sí.
lo que vamos a hacer, como les expliqué, es que yo igual me voy a conectar, pero la docencia no para. O sea, si no tenemos,
Claro.
si no hay una modificación de calendario, claro, yo no puedo detener docencia, porque imagínate, o sea, quedaría un despelote para después. Entonces lo que vamos a hacer es que yo me voy a conectar el viernes de nuevo, ¿cierto? Si alguien se une, se hace la clase. De todas maneras, ahora gracias a ti voy a poder, ya grabé esta clase, la voy a subir, pero igual les voy a dejar anotado en el foro a ellos que vimos, no sé, la página, ¿qué página vimos? La 70 parece que vimos. La primera página de la unidad 9A, por si quieren verla, y una vez que ellos reanuden, ¿no es cierto? Como que bajen el paro, vamos igual a tener un repaso entre todos por si alguien tiene dudas o queremos repasar cosas. O sea, la idea es que nadie salga perdiendo por las cosas que pasen y por las decisiones. Al final, así han pasado cuántas veces ya hemos pasado por esto, así que no es nada tan
Sí,
terrible.
sí.
Lo importante
Aunque
es que
yo no tenía idea que había paro porque la semana pasada, como fue de vacaciones,
sí,
como que igual
sí,
me desconecté y no supe nada del audio, ahora me di a las clases. Y como yo estoy en especialidad,
claro.
tuve clases normales en la mañana. Entonces
Sí, yo también, yo tuve clases normales con todos mis niveles hoy, con el 5, con el 2 incluso, yo pensé que con el 2 no iba a tener, fíjate que no tuve normales. Entonces, ahora está bien, si al final esto es
Sí,
una...
sí.
Es así, pues, o sea, el que se une, bien, el que no se une, bien. Lo importante es que, independiente de lo que ocurra, ¿cierto? Para la gente que no se ha unido porque respeta el paro, vamos igual a tener un repaso así como express, ya cuando volvamos, para que no se preocupen. Así que nada, pues te dejo la invitación hecha eso para el viernes. Y si no viene nadie, bueno, les dejo lo que vamos a ver, que se supone que se va a ver, y después lo retomamos una vez que ya el paro se deponga. ¿Ya? Así que muchas gracias por quedarse.
Ya.
Seguimos. Bye bye.
Chao.